Hi there, this is Mike Durr, Kingwood Mortgage Guy. Listen, the reason you want to watch this video is because we're going to tell you about the 4 steps to get pre-qualified and fast. And what I'm hoping to do is I'm hoping to make this video pretty fast too. So I'm going to go through it quickly. If you have any questions, obviously I want you to call me and I'd love to answer any question that you might have. Okay, so why get qualified with us? Well, the main reason is we're local. We're right here in the Houston metropolitan area. We do serve all of Texas, and so we may not be local to some people, but if you're in the Houston metropolitan area, we're pretty local. We've been in the mortgage business for 20 plus years. I personally have been in for 23 years, and my staff 15, and anyway, most here are in the business for more than 10 or a decade. We treat our customers well. You can see that by the reviews, and I'll include some of those in the part, I guess the last part of this video. We get our deals done and our rates are good. So those are other good reasons why you want to use or think about trying us. The 4 things that are needed to get pre-qualified are the application. And the application is info about the last 2 years of your residence history, your work history, your assets. We ask for a credit report, and the credit report really tells us about your credit scores and how you've handled your credit obligations in the past. Number 3 is the documents. The documents are really able, or what we use those for, is to support the information that's on the application. So it just, everything kind of fits together in a very tight package. And then the 4th thing is we run this information through an automated underwriting engine, industry standard underwriting engines. And what they do is they spit out an approve eligible, which is a success, or they tell us what we need to do to get you approved. So those are both very important. So let's talk about the application first. The application takes about 5 to 7 minutes. It's going to ask you about your personal information, things like your social security number, your date of birth. It's going to ask you about where you've lived for the last 2 years, where you've worked for the last 2 years, what your position is. And it asks you how much money you've got in the bank and your checking, your savings, what kind of investments you have. And it's doing this all to get a picture of how strong you are as a borrower, because when these people lend you the money, guess what? They want to get the money back. So it asks about financial events that may have happened in your past, whether they're negative or positive, particularly bankruptcy and foreclosure are some that they're very sensitive to. So the credit report tells a lot, and it tells you about what your current credit scores are. It tells us how you've handled your credit obligations over the past. And it also tells us how much debt you have so that we can calculate that into what your debt ratio is. And the debt ratio is really a defining ratio or part of the credit application to tell us how much you can buy, what you can qualify for. Documents needed, well, pretty simple. Copy of driver's license, social security card, copy of tax returns for the last 2 years, and we need all pages. Copy of W-2s or 1099s for the last 2 years. Again, supports the information that's on your paycheck stubs and the tax returns. Copy of the last 30 days of paychecks. Copy of bank statements and investment statements for the last 2 months. We need all pages of those. And then if you're self-employed or retired, there's some special circumstances. They're probably going to be less information required, but I want you to call me for those because they're kind of special. All right. So this automated underwriting engines, there's 3 of the primary engines that we use. The first is desktop underwriting, which is for Fannie Mae home loans. LP is loan prospector for Freddie Mac, and then GUS is for guaranteed underwriting system for USDA loans. We're probably going to use one of those 3. Congratulations. After you go through that process, and particularly if we have documents, we can give you we can tell you you're pre-qualified and get you a pre-qualification letter. But the engine tells us how much you qualify for. It tells us very specifically what is needed to receive that approval. And then when it comes back approved, or I mean, it's all good, but even if it comes back with not an approval, it's going to lead us and guide us as to what you need to do so that you can get approved. And this is very important, and we think it helps a lot of people. So just because you're not approved the first time does not mean that you're not going to be approved. It just means that we've got to maybe do some strategery. So the pre-qualification letter, I used to tell people that if you've ever watched American Idol, this is like you're going to Hollywood, your ticket to Hollywood. Well, kind of the same thing is when you get this letter, it's an indication that you can show this letter to realtors and sellers And this confirms that you've been vetted and that you deem to be worthy of buying a house. You can pull this off. You can actually make this happen. And it's because we checked all the data that we talked about previously. So it's a big deal. I think this will be important for you, and be proud that not everybody can buy a house. The other thing that we add that some people don't is an accurate mortgage estimate. And what this does is that you deserve to know what the cost of buying a house are, and you want the real deal. You don't want to be worried or be wondering what that cost is. So we're going to tell you how much money you need, what your payment's going to be, where all the closing costs go, and we provide all that information for you so that it's totally transparent. You're going to see it all up front. Okay? Most people like that. The reviews, I'm going to put those at the back end here, so I want you to just feel free to take a look at those. And so let me recap here. What we covered was the 4 things needed to get pre-qualified. It's the application, the credit report, the documents that support the application, and then the one through the automated underwriting engine, which if we do this all, and we have all the documents, we can do it in about an hour. So we do it pretty fast. Another reminder on why you should call us. Well, we're local. We live right here in the Houston metro area, have for a long time, been in the mortgage business for a long time. We treat our customers like family, and that's really no BS. I mean, I encourage you to read the reviews. We get our deals done, and our rates and fees are very competitive. So I'd love it if you would just go to the website that we've had, KingwoodMortgageGuys.com, fill out the application, or call me, and I'll send you a link for that. Anyway, talk to you soon, and check out the reviews at the end here, okay?